Hey, what's up? It's me again. Well, welcome to spring. I got my butterfly earrings on, and I wouldn't say that I'm happy about it being spring, but I would say that spring is here. And, like it or not, we are past March 20th, which sometimes is March 21st. But I'd like to start out by expanding on what I was saying at my mom's house about how spring comes the earliest in the month out of all four seasons, okay? And what I'd like to discuss further, and of course, fall comes the latest in September, basically. It comes at least 3 days later in September than spring begins in March, okay? And I was talking about how if only they could take one day out of August and give it to February so that February would normally be 29 days and then in a leap year it'd be 30 days. And, make the last two odd months 31 days and vice versa, so that all odd months would have 31 days and all even months would have 30 or less, and if we change the calendar to look like that instead, and how that would affect the year. Well, first of all, it would affect the Friday the 13th, but not by much. You would still have 1 in 7 months with a Friday the 13th and still the same mean average of 1.7. But sometimes you would actually have 4 in a 12-month period, like every 3 months, which doesn't occur with a regular calendar. But the other thing, the main thing that would be different, as I've stated before, would be that your 4 seasons, you would clearly see that summer is the longest season of the year. I mean, I see it because I happen to know that it is. It's a full 94 days. But it would be more obvious that you would still, I'm pretty sure you would begin autumn still on September 23rd, around that time. But with spring, you would clearly see that it could begin March 19th or 20th. And all the other seasons would begin around the 20th, the summer and winter. But it would just become that much more obvious that the summer is longer than the winter in the Northern Hemisphere. And that's part of the reason why Antarctica is so much colder than the North Pole. Because of the fact that the average length of day is slightly above 12 hours in the Northern Hemisphere, whereas it's at or below 12 hours in the Southern Hemisphere. And that's why Australia never gets quite as hot in the summer, their summer, as Texas can be during our summer, not even considering further west. So, in the temperate regions of Australia, it's slightly cooler in the summer, and that's why, or, it's part of the reason, because their summer is slightly shorter. But, people would clearly see, that the winter is only 89 days, followed by autumn at 90 days, spring 92 days, and summer 94 days. See, like I said, the analemma, meaning the figure 8, formed by the sun at the same time of day, is slightly bigger on one side than the other. So, when they try to tell you how long and cold the winter is, you wouldn't believe it. And you wouldn't be so quick to go out and buy a bunch of Christmas decorations and, all this Christmas stuff, because you would know that it's ridiculous to devote so much storage space to something that is such a small percentage of the year and passes by very quickly. You know, I just put away the Christmas stuff, and it makes me angry that my sister sees nothing wrong with leaving hers out for years on end. You know, I think it's gone on 3 years now since she's taken down her Christmas stuff. And it just really makes me mad. And my dad won't stand up to her about it. He won't just turn it off. I mean, you could leave it out, but just turn it off to try to preserve your lights. So anyway, that's all I have to say about the first day of spring.